Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about how to hit your irons more solid with these impact drills. All right guys, so let's talk about how to hit your irons more solid with these impact drills. Two things quick before we go. Another reminder that we are launching our golf schools, 3-day all-inclusive golf schools. We've had an awesome reaction so far. I appreciate that. We still do have a few spots open for the May and June schools. If you do have any interest in coming up and hanging out with us for 3 days, we will link the details in the description. It is the best way that we know how to get your handicap really different, to really make a drastic change in your game relative to taking a lesson once a week or once a month. That really immersion event of 3 days makes a huge difference. So that's the best way how if you want to take your game to the next level. The next best way is through our membership site, CogornoGolf.com. Everything that we have on there really structured and detailed to guide you through the learning process. You have the option of sending in your swing. I can actually see what you're doing, really expedite the process of you getting better. Would love you to join our community there as well. CogornoGolf.com will be in the description down below. Impact drills. Now, impact drills and what I want to show you here today can really make a big difference in how solid you hit the ball. What I've found kind of throughout training people and practice myself is that there's a lack of awareness of where you should be in space at impact. Your body, your hands, the club. And when I actually put someone in an impact position, 99% of the time they're like in shock, like, wow, this is where I'm actually supposed to be. And think about that. If you don't know where you are going or have a clear idea of what that feels like, the odds of you getting there with the drills we do or what you're doing is pretty small, right? You have to know where you're going here. So that's really the idea behind these impact drills. And when I do them for myself, it's drastic, and for my players as well. This is something I've seen done a long time ago, kind of seeing it refreshing a little bit more now, and I've been putting it into play more, and I'm happy that I have. So the idea behind this and doing impact drills is to get yourself in an impact position, which we must first start by, what should that look like? So here's my normal setup. I have an 8-iron here like this. I'm gonna take my normal setup position. Normal setup for me is about weight 50-50, ball's about off my left eye, left ear, just forward to center. Shaft is slightly forward, hands inside of left thigh. Hips and shoulders are square. Those are kind of the relevant things. Handle slightly forward, hips are square, I'm 50-50, and I'm about this high, which we'll talk about in future videos. Now at impact, here's about an impact position, okay? Now for my normal, and I might be exaggerating slightly, but for my normal, how does this look different than my setup? Here's impact, here's setup. Here's impact, here's setup. Now what changed? You should see a couple things. Number one, my handle went forward over my left leg and left shoe, right? Now, how it got forward was through rotation. So when I take my normal setup, my hips are square. At impact, your hips should be open. How far? Well, ideally like 40 to 45 degrees, but not everyone's gonna get there. At least 20, 30 degrees. They have to be some amount open. Shoot for way open. So from here, let's say I'm getting my hips open about 30, 40 degrees from here. So I'm pulling this back, my left hip is open, right? My rib cage, I'm also gonna get open quite a bit. So when I pull this open, my hips, let's say are 40, let's say my rib cage is 20 to 30 degrees open. Now my shoulders aren't gonna appear that open because I have to hold on to the club, but really I'm opening my body a ton. That's part number one. And when I do that, you see the handle moves forward. Now you'll also see the pressure in my feet change. Right now I'm about 50-50 in the middle of my feet. When I'm at impact, I have a little bit more on my left, probably about 60-70%. And you see my toes up, I'm back on my heel. So here's address, weight back on the heel and a little bit more on my left side. Okay, I'm not pushing this way forward, but there's gonna be a little bit of lateral as I'm turning there like that. You should see that. You should also see at address, my right arm is relatively long, not straight, but pretty long. At impact, what is it? More bent. My right wrist is pretty flat. At impact, what is it? Pretty bent back. My left wrist is a little cupped. At impact, where is it? Flat. So there's a lot of things changing there. It all starts with my body orientation. From setup to impact, I am opening my body up and I'm having a little bit more of my body forward towards the target. So that is my pelvis here is moving a little bit forward or extending a little bit. as I'm opening. So as my body rotates, the handle goes forward. As the handle goes forward, my right wrist gets bent back, my left wrist is slightly flexed, and my right arm bends. Now, the other thing you're going to note that we need to talk about in more depth later on is as my handle goes forward and this lever gets shorter, I need to get closer to the ground to make up that distance. So if this is my normal length and I bend my right arm and my right wrist because I'm rotating, and that gets shorter 4 inches, I'm just making up numbers here, 2 inches, my body needs to do what? I gotta go down 2 inches. How do I do that? I do that through right side bend and through forward flexion. I do that through right side bend. Here's my head. Here's me right side bending, I went lower. Here's me bending over, forward flexion, I went lower. It might be kind of over your head a little bit, but that's what I'm doing here, okay? So that's the difference. Now, getting aware of what that spot feels like is goal number 1, and those are all the variables involved. Do you need to think about all that? Probably not, but you should record yourself and go over the pieces I said and say, hey, where am I relative to that? You shouldn't be getting taller. Your arm shouldn't be lengthening. You shouldn't be throwing your wrist. You shouldn't be square still. You need to go here like this. And then what you do is you preset that and hit some shots. This can be something you can do in the beginning of a range session as a warm-up, as you're doing your mechanical practice, or even at the end, and I see no hurt from this. So I think almost everyone across the board could probably, one of the few drills that everyone across the board could do. What you do is you take your normal setup, you preset that impact position. Okay, so I'm feeling here like this. Now from here, I'm gonna make a little backswing, and then I'm gonna hit a shot. And what I'm trying to do is get back into that position. I'm trying to feel what it feels like, and then right from there, I'm not going here, back to setup, reset and go. I'm going right from there, back, and I'm trying to get back to that spot relatively quickly. It's fresh in my mind. So normal setup, adding in rotation, pressure a little bit forward, little right side bend, and then I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna try and get right back to that spot the best that I can. And what am I gonna do? Am I gonna guess and say, oh man, maybe I did it, maybe I didn't? Absolutely not. I'm gonna give myself feedback. I'm gonna have video on, and I'm gonna see, wow, here's where I posed, and at impact, I was back here. Holy cow, I didn't do what I thought. I need to exaggerate this piece and this piece more, whatever those pieces may be. So here's my normal setup. Rotation, pelvis a little forward, adding some right side bend, handles forward here, back and through at the same spot. And when I do that, my compression is about as good as it's gonna get. Why? Because I have all those pieces in line, right? Now, when you're actually swinging, there's some other stuff that probably goes off that makes that hard to do. Ideally, you fix those as well. But again, you need to have an awareness of where you're going and feel what that feels like. You might feel like, holy cow, that's way open. I feel way close to the ground. My right wrist feels way bent back. Holy cow. And then I hit, and then you look at it and you say, wow, that looks perfect. Well, then you need to feel those things to the holy cow amount, right? That's the point of what this is, full exaggeration, and then don't guess. I don't care if you feel like you're this far down to the ground. If that's what it's supposed to look like, then that's what's required for you to feel in the short term, and then over time, that will get far more comfortable. So, impact drills, do it as part of your regular practice. Feel what those pieces are, review the pieces that I said, get to that spot, go back and hit, and you should be seeing a difference. If you give yourself feedback, it can make a huge difference in how solid you hit your irons. Hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, please do us a favor, click the like button down below. Click notification bell, also please subscribe. Another reminder, if you would like more instruction from me tailored for you, check out CogornoGolf.com. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys.